guess you can save it for a fire tender. Take a bunch. Thank you. Do I want gloves? No, hands are just gonna get dirty. So I got this potting soil actually last year. Hopefully it's still good. I got it from, let's see, Gardener's Supply Company. That's where I ordered these trays from. They're a whole system for starting seeds. You get the seed starting mix, and this keeps it all moist in there so your seeds will germinate. Because when you are planting seeds, if your dirt or your soil gets dry, your seeds are not likely to germinate. They have to stay moist until they germinate. And then as they grow, you don't have to water them quite as much. But sometimes you have to water them a couple times a day. So some people will just cover them with like a plastic bag or something with a little toothpick to keep it up. But these are kind of nice because you could reuse them. So I just bought the whole system. Okay, so I've got one bag in there. Let's see, we've got, let's just do like a bag and a half probably. Some people use a trash can, which is probably better, but I'm just, I don't know, going with what I got here. I got a bucket. Seems good enough for now. What are we gonna mix with? Wooden spoon, that works. Why not? Okay, why do you wet the soil before you put it in? Good question. Well, you can't wet it without water, can you? You want the soil to be moist for the same reason you have to keep it moist. You want to start it moist, or you can just wet it down, but I think it's easier to start it with a little bit of moisture in it because it's very dry right now. All right, good enough. So let's hope there's no leaks in this bucket, otherwise we're gonna have a mess. Okay, so we make dirty stew. All right, I believe the consistency we're looking for is where I could kind of make like a little ball, but I don't want it muddy. I don't want it dry. Well, it's okay. It probably needs a little more. Just gonna use the rest. Ooh, smelling good. It's getting strong. All right. Okay, good enough. All right, I'm gonna move these. We'll use some gloves, but I'll probably have to take them off once we get the seeds going. I think I'm just gonna pre-fill them all with dirt. Do you guys wanna help me with this?
Yes, once I finish with this, can I plant like carrots and stuff? Or
Well,
like flowers?
Yeah. We're not gonna do any seeds yet. We're gonna get all these cells full of dirt first, and then we're gonna have to have a little bit of an assembly line here because we have to label everything. So once we get it filled with dirt, then we'll start worrying about what we're gonna put where. So we're gonna use these as our labels, which will be fine. We'll just tape over them. Do you wanna wear gloves?
No, not yet.
Okay, so we're just gonna grab these trays and fill them with dirt. Oh, thank you, that's helpful. I think for this really thin tape, we're gonna need a pen. So, yeah, this will be good fire starter. You can put that in the fire starter kit. How about you grab this? And what I'm gonna do is just gonna have you can just put the whole thing in here
that looks so fun.
and fill it up, okay? So you're gonna fill it up. You don't want it completely full, think 3/4 full, okay?
3/4.
So get it about 3/4 full. So you can just dump a bunch in there and then you can kind of level it out as you go. Well, you can fill it up as much as you want. Because I think as we wet it, we'll wet it again. It has a little bit of moisture, but we'll add more to it.
Which will make it?
Yep. Great.
Yeah?
Yep, I would just get a little more in these ones. Maybe just like, yeah, kind of like filling up cupcake trays.
Ooh, cupcakes. Okay.
All right, so this is the third season that we have started seeds indoors, and every year we learn a little something more. So the first year we had our, if you can see this tray over here, we had our seeds there and we didn't have any light on it. It's just a bright spot, and we thought, well, it's bright, it's warm. We did have our seeds germinate, but they did what people call get leggy because they were reaching for the light. So it's not a south-facing window, it's a western-facing window, so it gets some good light, but it's still coming at an angle. So my plants would get long and kind of reach to this direction, so I always had to turn them. So then last year we got lights, but then I started them in the basement, which is cold, and I didn't even think about it. And so we put the lights down there, I started all the seeds in the basement, and then my cold plants, like my broccoli and my kale and my pumpkin, they all shot up just fine. But the tomatoes and peppers never germinated down there for weeks. And I didn't dawn on me for a while until I realized, oh, it's too cold down there. And so as soon as I got them into some warmer weather, they started germinating, and then they finally got going, but it was quite late. So our tomatoes and peppers were late in this season. Perfect, thank you, Autumn. So this time we're trying something different where we're gonna use the warmth. Yeah, so I would just stick the whole tray in there as opposed to bringing the dirt out to the tray.
Sorry.
Just stick it all in there, that's okay. That's kind of easier, so that way you can work. That's okay.
It's so squishy. Squish worm.
So this year we're going to use the lights that we got last year. We're going to use our warm spot up here, but we're going to do both. So I'm hoping I'll probably have to keep the curtain closed so it doesn't get a ton of the external light, but just some warmth and a little bit of extra light, and we'll see how that works. Hopefully our tomatoes and peppers will come on sooner this year, and we'll get more of them than we got last year because everything was a little bit later. And last year we planted some wildflowers in pots, which did pretty well. So we're going to try that again this year. All the kids want to have some in their garden beds. And flowers, we realized, were so helpful because they brought us so many awesome pollinators, didn't they?
Yes.
Bees in our backyard, which is what you need to pollinate your plants. So how's your moisture? Do you need more water?
No, it's pretty good. It's like light and fluffy.
Okay, here, I'm just gonna grab.
It's so fluffy!
So can I try this real quick? And just see if the whole thing will go in.
I can.
Because you can kind of dig in it from here, and then you could flip it around.
Yeah,
or
I can work with
however
that.
you can do that. Okay. That's great. So the kids had their own garden last year.
We made it ourselves. We hoed up everything, and we made turnips to break up the ground.
Yeah, they did.
And it was really fun to harvest them.
And what were the things that went well, and what were the things that didn't go well with that?
So we forgot to water it, so a lot of them went limp. We only got the radishes. The turnips didn't really come out that well. And it was a really rocky ground, and it didn't get a ton of sun.
Yeah, so we have a water system outside for all of our other beds. So this year, you guys are going to have a bed with an automated water system. So hopefully it'll be more successful.
Yes.
Because of that.
Successful.
Hopefully. So once we get this done, then we can
start measuring.
Well, we're just going to look at what we have in our seeds and see how many we want of each. Yeah, I think we're going to prioritize our food over the flowers. We definitely want to do some flowers, but we can always do flowers in a different spot. I only have so many lights, so we'll see what we have left after we get the amount of tomatoes and peppers and
all the stuff that needs to
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
this is looking good. Holes in the bottom?
No, that's normal. Do you know what those holes are for?
Water coming through, so the water isn't all soaked in.
What else?
I don't know.
As the plant grows, what else could potentially go through that hole? The roots. Exactly, the roots. You want to give them somewhere to go as they get older and bigger. All right, I'm going to start, what am I going to do? I'm going to get the seed packets out. Yeah, I wonder if we do all food in these and then we do the wildflowers and something else.
All the food in there?
We'll see, maybe. All right, so we've got some different peppers. All right, I might need all hands on deck to get this done. We've got bell peppers all here. These are our hot peppers. Hot peppers are good for salsas.
I don't like
Right, these are our herbs. We're gonna do some, let's see, what is this? Parsley, basil. We use a lot of basil, so I'm hoping to do a whole lot of basil this year. And then these are all of our tomatoes. We're going to do some Amish paste tomatoes, some Roma tomatoes. In the past couple of years, I've done these really big, fat, juicy tomatoes, and I've gotten way too much juice from them. So I'm doing more of a paste tomato, which has an aroma tomato, has less juice. So I'm hoping to do, because I like to do like a tomato sauce plus salsas. Okay, so there's my tomatoes. Cucumbers I'm going to wait on. And then I have some cherry tomatoes, which were wonderful last year. And then here's our squashes. This is all going to be separate. Squash I could probably actually still do in the basement with some separate lights. And then I have some seeds that I harvested from our peppers this last year. And I will probably plant some of those just to see if they'll germinate. So if you can find your pile.
I found it.
Okay. So first you want to figure out which ones do we need to plant early.
I am planting cantaloupe, cilantro, lavender, zinnias.
So Autumn's making labels so she knows exactly what she's planted where. So you'll make all your labels and then plant your seeds. Okay, Autumn, for cucumbers, you can start seeds indoors 2 to 4 weeks before last frost. So this would be, if we were going to plant end of May, then we could actually wait to plant these until like April. So we may plant other ones later. All right, so how is that working with the labeling? Is it working okay?
I just wrap it around once to keep it on the popsicle stick.
Okay.
And then you fold it so there's no sticky part.
Perfect. Well, then we'll have extras. But a lot of times when people put 2 seeds in per hole, which is common, to ensure that one comes up, then you have to get rid of one anyway. So what we're doing is instead of putting 2 seeds per hole, we're just making 6 of them.
Oh, they are kind of big. So I'm dropping them in right now. Dropping them in. Wow, I can't even see them. It's so pitch black.
Can I see what they look like? Too close. There you go. That's right. Yeah, that's plenty. All right, so we're just going to continue on this process of flagging them, entering the seeds, and then we'll water them down and put them under the lights here in a minute. Here's our final product. We've got all of our trays filled, and we put our plastic lids on here. You can see they're nice and full of moisture. That's a good thing. It's creating that little greenhouse effect right in there. And so we filled up this first tray, this first level, the middle, and the bottom level there with all the seeds that we did. And everything's pretty much set up. We have it on a timer, so these lights will be on basically when we have sun, but for a full 12 hours. So it'll go beyond, it turns on about 10 o'clock in the morning and it goes off about 10 o'clock at night. And so these will be here covered until they all germinate, and then we'll take these lids off and we'll let them be up here for a little bit longer, but once they get bigger, we will move them down to the basement, and then we'll start putting a fan on them so they can harden up. And then when it's time to plant them outside, probably here where we are in the country, after Mother's Day is typically when planting is possible. But even then, last year we had some frost, so we'll have to see how that goes. But this will be the setup for now, and I think this is going to work better with the lights. And then you can see I have the curtains half closed, so they're not getting a ton of external light, but it is a nice warm spot, so I think germination will happen faster. Anyway, we'll keep you posted on the progress.